Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to the legendary Verified Investing YouTube channel and the Golden Nugget. Today, we are going to talk about a lot of different things, and we have a very special announcement that's exciting for me and also exciting for you and exciting for Verified Investing as a whole, but in true Drew fashion, we're going to make you wait for that in blissful suspense. Now, I am Drew Wolfer, your golden guide to everything that happens in the metals market for all of the people that show up here every single Wednesday faithfully at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We would not have a platform without you. So much love to you. Anybody that is here for the first time, this is the Golden Nugget. And again, it happens every single Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we would love to have you here every single Wednesday. Now, what we're going to do for the people that haven't been here, we are going to do first and foremost, gold analysis. Second, we're going to get into the silver analysis, talk about the trades that we were talking about last week. How did they play out? What are we looking at this week? Then we're going to go over our market movers. Okay, so what's happening in the markets right now? We're going to go through the economic calendar. We're going to go through all of the global things that could be actually kind of taking into account all of the global stuff that is going to be moving the metals markets over just the next week, because hopefully you'll see me again next week if you show up, right? So that is exactly how we're going to structure this settlement. And right in the middle, I am going to give you that beautiful new announcement of something that's really exciting that's coming up within the next few days. This is very actionable. So if you are here for the actionable insights, I promise you, you are in one of the best places to get that. So let's get straight into our very first segment, as we always do, and we are going to gauge gold. So let's get into the gold charts. Let's talk about what was happening on gold last week and how that played out for this week, and then we will get into silver right after that. So we know that we have this downward sloping trend line from these all-time highs to those other two peaks. We broke above them, then we lost them, okay? But the thing was, we found another upward sloping trend line, and we broke above it, but then we lost it, and we were kind of bing-bonging in between it, trying to choose a direction. Now, we're going to take these off because we already are under this, and so we're still kind of in this, you know, like megaphone type style pattern. But the one thing that I wanted to show you, okay, is that we have, well, there's way more than one thing that I want to show you. We have a 1 hour falling wedge, and that could be breaking out as it sits right now. Your first resistance is going to be right up here at about 3450. Okay, well, that's not your first resistance. Your first resistance will be right above 3400. Okay, and this is where we're seeing a potential breakout. Now, is this as actionable as anything else? Not necessarily. So I'm going to take this off of the screen, at least for now, because we also have from this swing high to this swing high to this swing high, before we ultimately broke through it, okay, we are starting to reclaim that level. Now, if you look at what we were talking about last week, okay, what we were talking about last week was this micro uptrend and this macro downtrend, okay? And then we had our fixed range volume profile pulled, where we have our value area high up here, our value area low, and then our point of control. And last week we were talking about this parallel channel potentially breaking out. This is very rare to break above a parallel channel. And this was the trade that we gave out last week. We gave out two potential trades. If you break below the point of control, you short. You take it down to the value area low, right? That didn't happen, but we hit the bottom end of this channel and gave us our perfect long entry to take it all the way up to the value area high. And we immediately got above this parallel channel, so you could start trailing your stop loss up and get into a stop loss that had, you know, just regular, hey, I'm going to put it right at break even. Then once you get outside of the parallel channel, you back test it, boom, you come up, and now you've got a massively profitable trade if you left a runner. In any case, your trade hit perfectly if you took it all the way up to the value area high. So what are we seeing now, okay? What I'm seeing is there is this head and shoulders potentially, right? Head and shoulders pattern on the daily chart, which is an inverted head and shoulders, as you can see, that's pulled all the way from that previous all-time high all the way over here. And we are trying to break out of that as we speak right now. So we've been trying to break out of it. We got a confirmed breakout over here. We got the back test of it. We've lost it a little bit. This is a key decision point, and the Fed rate decision might be the thing that actually makes that happen, right? Okay. So we've got that, and then we also know that we are, coming up on that right here, this kind of resistance point at about $3,440. So if we were to break out above this inverted head and shoulders, right, and then we also have, give me one second, there it is. If we were to break above this inverted head and shoulders, your first resistance is going to be right here, just above $3,400, and that is the value area high. You would like to see a reclaim of that and then a bounce, okay? And the measured move on this head and shoulders is extremely substantial. We're talking new all-time highs. 60, 70, 80% of the measured move is going to be up here near $3,600, okay? Now, this is where you could start thinking about longing once you get that verified breakout, and your best entry would be up here once you have taken out the value area high, but you could obviously enter once you break the neckline. But you've seen how many times we've tried to break this neckline and just got sucked right back under it. So the Fed rate decision could whipsaw you in and out of your position here, right? Because Jerome Powell is speaking at 2:30 today. So just be very cognizant of that. But that would be, your ultimate target would be to take out these highs at the very least, up at about $3,450 on a long position. Now, if you lose this 200 moving average, that's your shorting opportunity right there. If you come down there, you lose that, you could easily take that down to the point of control and even further, because you're losing some serious supports right there. And I'll show you what support you could be potentially losing. Let's see, you're losing this support right here, right? And then if you come down here, you can see your micro downtrend and uptrend, and that micro downtrend is taking you almost all the way down to the value area low, okay? Now, let's get into the silver snapshot, because the trades that we've been taking on gold and silver have been spot on for the past couple of weeks, and I think people are probably pretty happy with it, and I am seeing something that is happening on silver right now. So we remember this bull flag. We took this trade. This was awesome. We've almost reached the full measured move on it. A lot of people took profits here, left a runner to see if we could come up here to test the top end of this upward sloping trend channel that's been established since like 2023, right? So let's zoom in. I'll show you what I'm seeing now, okay? Because we want some actionable insights now. Well, we have our first kind of support right here, okay? Your first support is going to be the midpoint of this channel, $34.40, right? But what else am I seeing? I'm also seeing this. We have a bull flag on the one-day chart that is potentially breaking out. So if we extend this out, right, this would be your first level to start thinking about getting into a trade right around here, a long trade, right? And then targeting the upward end of this trend channel, which is right about 75% of that full measured move right here. So that's what I'm seeing on silver as it sits right now. Silver is silver's moving. Let's just call it what it is. It's at 13-year highs. It literally just set that today. It set it yesterday, right? It set it a few days ago. So once we get below this level right here, though, bang, that is where you would start thinking about being a little bit more short-term short on silver. But I'm going to give you some insights on the silver market once we get into the next segment. So let's get into our next segment, and that is going to be called the Commodity Compass. So this is going to tell you exactly what is going on in the metals markets right now. First and foremost, I always do this. I have this in front of me on the screen so that I'm cognizant of your time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want this to be as quick and actionable as possible, and we'll just rip through it, right? We have the Fed rate decision today, okay? This is game time, okay, for all markets, not just the metals markets, okay? There is no expectation for a raise right now, but we all know what happens the second, I don't have a microphone, we'll act like this is a microphone, that Jerome Powell steps up to that microphone, right? They call him up and the market goes crazy and there's all this volatility, right? There's all this crazy volatility. So this is the day that can get you whipsawed in and out of your position. So when you're taking these positions, that's why on silver, I'm looking for swing trades and things of that sort. That's why on gold, I'm looking for swing trades and giving you swing trades, because first off, I'm only seeing you once a week. But second off, on days like this, and tomorrow is a federal holiday, these are the times that can get extremely volatile and they can absolutely whipsaw you out of your position. He speaks at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, okay? And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but you got to stay essentially above 33.80, right? That's where you can start thinking about shorting gold, not necessarily from a swing trade perspective, but from a scalping or day trading perspective. 3,400. Once you get above that, you're looking pretty good on gold. Now, Middle East tensions, okay? This is A lot of people are thinking that this might be actually sorted rather quickly. So gold is kind of in an indecision range right now. You saw it on the chart. Like it is like a straight line. It is capitulating. It is, we'll just call it what it is. In my opinion, it's not capitulating. It's coiling. It's getting ready for a big move. It's taking a rest. Bam, something's going to happen. Okay. So the dollar is remaining pretty firm, although it is dropping a little bit, but it's almost like these tensions, they're waiting for it to go one way or another, and then they're just going to springboard the markets. Okay. Now, silver has started to decouple. I'm not going to call a confirmed decoupling of silver yet, but it surged to over $37 an ounce. Okay. I own physical gold. I own physical silver. I'm rooting both of them on, right? Silver decoupling might actually show a transition from silver just running with gold to silver potentially outperforming gold or running differently than gold now due to industrial demand. Okay. Now, the third thing that I want to get into after we did our technical analysis and we have now gotten through the commodity compass is what's called the knowledge bank. Okay. And so this is going to be my daily, or I guess my weekly nugget tip. So when gold is consolidating, as we saw on the chart, and I can actually pull up the chart and show it to you if you'd like me to really quick. But as you see, when gold is consolidating in these ranges around here, this is like telling you that it's coiling up for a big move up or a big move down, especially when it's around key dates like Fed rate decisions, okay? And you could even argue that there is a technical like bull flag here, right? So what does that look like to you? Kind of looks like a bull flag, right? And there's going to be a key level right here at about 33, call it 33.70, which is that 200 moving average. And then the $3,400 level, which is that value area high, where things could make gold either jump or dump, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing with these, you know, trending markets. Whenever they're trending sideways like this and kind of capitulating, this is showing you that it's coiling and getting ready for a move one way or the other. Sometimes it's best to not be in the markets, or you can be non-directional by doing what's called a schlong or a straddle, right? A short and a long at the same time. And you can weight it to one side or the other, which would actually be called a strangle in the options markets. Okay. So just these are the types of things that I'm teaching inside of the Golden Opportunity, which is the course that I am bringing out with Verified Investing, which is going to give us a really good segue into our special segment that's coming in just a second. But these are the types of things that I'm showing you how to navigate in the gold markets when things like this happen, especially around economic calendar dates that are so crucial, like the Fed rate decisions, okay? These are the things that I'm teaching inside of the Golden Opportunity, and I'd love to see you all in there so that you can understand how I have an 84% win rate documented inside of the gold markets. And I'd love to be able to teach you how to, you know, trade gold yourself and even silver, right? So let's get into our special report. And this is Investor Day. Okay, this is the second annual Investor Day for Verified Investing. Join us at verifiedinvesting.com to learn more about what Investor Day is. But essentially what it is, it's called Investor Empowerment Day. So we are going to empower you for free and teach you and guide you in these markets all day next Monday, all day, the 23rd of June. And yours truly will be there. We got Gareth, we got Ben, we got Drew, we got Doc B, we got Maggie, we've got me, we've got Lawton, we've got all the guys and gals, and there's going to be so many people that aren't even who I just listed that are going to be special guests, that we're going to have all of these different events. And if you want more information on that, go to verifiedinvesting.com and we will show you everything that is going to be on the calendar for that date. And guess what else comes out on Monday, the 23rd? You guessed it, the golden opportunity with yours truly, the golden guide to the metals market. So I would love to see you at Investor Day, and I can't wait to see you join. All right, now let's get into our special report. This is called the Market Movers segment, okay? And this is... we got a little problem with Citi right now, man. We got our Bruce Lee problem. Citi's throwing hands right now. So they actually revised their gold outlook downward to the end of 2025 to the beginning of 2026. They said gold's going to $3,000 an ounce. Now, this is mixed, okay? Because in the next segment, I'm going to tell you about another big, analyst and bank that's saying the complete opposite, right? And I think there's going to have to be some serious things that happen that shift gold down there. But even if we were to go to $3,000, okay? Even if we were to go there, so long as we stay above $3K to $3,150 from a macro perspective, when in doubt, zoom out on the charts, we are still extremely bullish long-term on gold. Now, does this give you a short-term opportunity? Yes, but I would not just take people for face value. Go and do your research, understand why. Get inside of the golden opportunity. We'll show you exactly how to figure these things out for yourself. That way you're not just banking on your buddy from Citi that's telling you these things. Now, the Golden Globe is the next segment, and we want to talk about all of the things that are happening inside of the world right now. And the last thing we'll do is talk about the economic calendar. So we have our Middle East tensions. Okay, this is pivotal. Despite it not escalating to full-scale war yet, by definition, because let's be real, they're launching, missiles, and it's crazy over there right now. Our hearts go out to everybody that's over there. It's a terrible situation in any case, okay? Now, there does continue to be support for gold. And Bank of America, not because of this, but because of other factors, is saying that gold could be pushing to $4,000, okay? Now, why? Because policy shifts and dollar debasement, okay? So if the dollar keeps going down, okay, inflation keeps going up, we start dropping interest rates, it's going to be the perfect storm. This is one of the things that I call inside of the golden opportunity, the trifecta of gold pumps, okay? So what's happening in the world right now? You've got your geopolitical tensions, man. You have to pay attention to that. And don't forget about Russia, Ukraine. That is still happening, even though that has kind of gone, to the side because of the Iran and Israeli conflict right now. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Make sure you're paying attention to the fact that the BRICS nations are still buying gold and central banks are still buying gold in troves, okay? And let's get into our last segment, which is going to be our economic calendar. And again, I have this in front of me so that I am cognizant of your time. So let's just jump right into it and we'll bang through it. Today, we have the FOMC meeting. It's at 2:30 p.m. That's when Jerome Powell is going to be talking and telling us what's going on with the Fed rate decision, okay? There is no expectation for a raise, but be ready for volatility because, like I said, as soon as that guy comes up and he's like, hello, things get a little crazy and get a little wonky in the market. So we also have the global central bank updates. So the BOJ and the BOE sessions likely include the policy updates and the minutes and forward guidance for the BOJ and the BOE, which is the Bank of Japan and the Bank of the European Union, okay, as part of the G7, right? So tomorrow we have a bank holiday. Okay, which is Juneteenth. So, to anybody that's celebrating Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth. G7 Summit gets wrapped up the insights from the 51st G7 Summit. Actually, that's a lot of G7 Summits that they've done. Now, we have the UK, Bank of England, okay? Their policy update is expected. Then we have Japan's, the BOJ's post-meeting commentary, which is similar to like what Powell's doing today because they met yesterday and then Powell speaks today, right? Then June 20th through the 22nd, which is Friday through Sunday, we have geopolitical developments that are going to be tied to the Iran and the Israeli conflict. Okay, so that's what you need to be paying attention to over the weekend because gold closes Friday night and then opens Sunday evening. So just pay attention to what's going on, right? And, position yourself accordingly. So then we have the US data stream is going to start beginning next week. Okay. Important readings on jobless claims, things of that sort, possible early month indicators. And those are the things that can move gold up and down. And then obviously next Wednesday, we have Fed Chair Powell's testimony to the House of Financial Services. Okay. And that's the committee where he'll be providing insights into the monetary policy, all those things. We will probably have already seen our move. So not as, super pertinent because it's game time right now. But then next Wednesday, we also have retail sales and jobless claims. Okay. So keep those things in mind and realize that they could also update the numbers from previous months and weeks on the retail sales and jobless claims, and they do it all the time. Okay. So even though we might have good jobless claims or good retail sales, go and read the fine print and see if they revised the previous months, and it'll give you a better kind of understanding of what is going on. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody for showing up every single Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you on Monday, bright and early, for the Investor Empowerment Day. Thank you so much for showing up to the Golden Opportunity. Again, I am Drew Wolfer, your golden guide to everything inside of the metals markets, and I appreciate you all for showing up. Much love. Everybody have a wonderful week and trade safely in these turbulent markets.